Good afternoon and welcome to my hobby bench. I don't know exactly how long it's been, but I think it's been quite some time since I've actually done a box opening on video. Now, there's two engines in this box. I know what they are, but you don't know what they are. This is an example of some generosity and hopefully a budding new friendship. A subscriber or at least a viewer of the channel contacted me a week or so ago and offered to let me run some of his engines and make videos of them, put them on the channel, and that's what this is. This gentleman's name is Chris. He's from Indiana, and I just got these engines today. Now, like I said, I know what's in this box, but you don't, but we're all going to find out what these things are, what they look like. Now, Chris has a long list of engines that potentially he might be sending to me to run over the course of the summer, which would be really cool because that means I don't have to, keep trying to find video subjects to do, because he's got some really cool engines. So I think you're going to find these interesting. Now, these are engines, obviously one's a Sato. These are engines that I have not featured on the channel before, and that's really one of the things that I'm always looking for, is looking for engines that I have not featured on the channel, and this box represents exactly that. Okay, so both engines must be in this box. So let me get this stuff out of the way. I'm going to make sure I keep all of this packing material because it's going to go back to Chris exactly like that. Now, as you can see, okay, so this isn't, the box says one thing, but that's not what's in here. So there are two engines in here. One is a Sato and one is an OS. And I think you're going to find them fairly interesting. Okay, so let's look at this one first. I'll keep the Sato for last. This is the OS engine. And this will probably by far be the oldest engine I've ever attempted to run. And it is a beautiful OS 29. Now, as you can see, this is a control line engine. I can't remember what the terminology was, twin port or something like that. This engine, from my timeline, dates between 1949 and 1950. Now, that's what it says on the timeline. I could not find any kind of reviews on this engine at all. What I found on this vintage engine was that prior to it being a glow engine, because this does look like it's set up for glow now, it was an ignition engine. And honestly, oh man, it's got really strong compression. And it just smells like some kind of a preservative oil. So I am confused as to the two ports on here. It's got an angled port, and then it's got another port here. So I'm not entirely sure I understand that. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to reference to figure out what that really means. Seems like one of them should be a needle valve, and it doesn't have a needle valve, because it seems like this would be the fuel inlet and this would be the needle valve, and there's not a needle valve. Yeah, I can see in here there's threads in here. So unfortunately, it looks like what you see is what you get with this engine. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to run this one at all because there's not a needle valve here. I believe, if my eyes are working properly, that I see threads within here. So unless there's, oh, wait a minute, time out, look at this, haha. Always look at the other unopened pieces of stuff in boxes, because I bet you anything this is a needle valve. Haha, cool, sweet, there it is. Look at that big boy. There we go. Now all is well with the world. Now we're talking. Okay, so back up, and this will be run. However, oh man, it's got really good compression too. this is going to require earplugs because this is going to be loud as heck. I hope that's not open. Oh, you know what this is? This backplate hole here is just a boss for a screw, because they never really changed the backplate when they went from glow to gas, because the review I showed, or I did find on this engine when it was gas, this is where the fuel tank was mounted. So that boss is simply just a screw to hold the fuel tank in place. It should not be open to the crankcase. So we should be in good shape there. So this one will be interesting. I'm not sure what size propeller I will put on this thing, or really even the type of fuel I would run on it, because this was released in this version, I'm assuming, right between when gas was still a big part of the hobby, and maybe they were just transitioning to glow fuel powered. So I mean, it looks like there's an OS number 8 glow plug in here, which I guess might be appropriate, but my recollection is that most really old engines, early glow ignition engines, or glow ignition engines, had an idle bar. So this might actually require an idle bar plug. It looks like it's got, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it there. Yeah, you can. Looks like it's kind of got a domed piston. So that's kind of interesting. It's not a baffle or a crossflow scavenged, obviously, because we've got exhaust ports on either side. So this has got some kind of a domed piston. Whether an idle bar plug will fit in here or not, I don't know. And unfortunately, there's just really not a whole lot of information on this particular variant. So if anybody knows or has run one of these OS 29s, please write in the comments and give me some assistance here. Otherwise, I'll try and run it with a OS number 8 or an A3 plug in FAI fuel, or maybe just a light nitro fuel. I really have no idea. But anyway, that's the first engine. So let's put that off to the side. The second engine, let's look at this. Never had one of these before, and it is a Sato FA115. I think I can probably back out here just a little bit. I do not know the history of this engine, but it's a Gold Knight. I think we can pull back in a little bit here now. Gold Knight FA115. Man, I don't know. This thing looks new. Holy crap. Chris, did you send me a brand new engine? Is this going to require... Chris, you can answer this question. Is this going to require break-in? Because this engine looks brand spanking new. I think there was a muffler here. So maybe the muffler will tell me. I don't know. This exhaust threads in there maybe have a little residue. It might have been run once. Looks like it's got an OSF glow plug in there. Pristine, beautiful engine. Obviously Horizon Hobbies Diamond Double H stamp there. Now, I've never found a review article on the 115, but from some of the research I do and have done in the past, based on the engines that are shown on the modern manuals, it looks like this engine was released about 2008. So I believe this engine dates back to, it was released to production and released to the market in 2008. Beautiful looking engine. I am super excited about this. I can't wait to run this. Now, like I said, I don't have a review article, so 115 is not quite a 120. I don't know, 14.8. I don't have a 14.8 prop. I've got 15.6. I could probably do a 15.6 prop on this thing. Man, 15.8. Those are about the only prop sizes I've got that might be appropriate for this. I'll have to look on some other YouTube channels and see if I can see what some other people are running on an FA115, or I'm certain that somebody will assist me and let me know what they're running. So anyway, this has just been a quick look at these two fine engines from a new friend, Chris, and we're going to get these things on the stand and run very quickly so I can get them back to him and see if he's willing to send me a couple more. So that's it for today. Thank you.